This is going to be a video tutorial of how to embed circles into your bars of soap. For this technique, I find it best to use two different types of soap. So I'm going to use white glycerin as well as clear. For this technique, you are also going to need a spray bottle full of rubbing alcohol, a measuring cup or another type of container to melt your soap in. Your fragrance, I actually ran out, so I'm going to use some body spray. You're going to need your soap mold and coat it if needed. If it's silicone, it doesn't need to be coated. And then your colorants. And then I am going to use this to make my circles. Your first step is going to be to take some clear glycerin, if that's what you chose, to make your circles out of, and put it into a separate container that can be microwaved. Take your melted clear glycerin and start mixing in your colors. I'm going to make this a darker green than what the white glycerin is going to be. I want them to contrast very well. I now have a good solid green. I'm going to spray with rubbing alcohol to eliminate any bubbles. Okay, so our green has dried and hardened, and I peeled it out. We are now going to cut our circles out. Okay, so all my circles are ready to go, and I actually put it in a pattern in the mold. I know it looks like a jumbled mess, but believe it or not, this is an actual pattern. I made 3 rows and just kind of made a checkered pattern on top of each other, and then I put a few slices in between. Now I'm going to use my measuring cup that has a spout and a handle to make my next layer. And this is going to go directly over all of this. I applied the second layer on top of the circle embeds. They did shift around a little bit, but not too much. As you can see, they're still floating around in there quite a bit, so they are going to be layered, which is going to look nice. It's coming out yellow on my screen here, but it's actually a really nice creamy green. As you can see, I have about a good inch or so of extra space in the mold, so I'm going to take my clear glycerin soap, melt it down, and make it a pure yellow, and then I'm going to layer that on top. I'm now about to pour on my yellow. And now we let it sit. Here's a good visual of the actual layers. Alright, so I just cut up the loaf, and I'm pretty pleased with how everything came out. Yes, the pattern did get destroyed, but I think for the better, because now everything kind of looks like mosaic tile, and I think that's pretty neat. Also, the coloring came out beautiful. I think the contrast with the dark and the light green, and then adding the yellow on the bottom, I think that was really cool. It actually kind of reminds me of like a leprechaun hat, and St. Patrick's Day is in 2 weeks, so these could actually be good St. Patrick's Day soaps. I do like how swirls happened in random spots, but then not in others. I think that's pretty cool and unexpected, so that's always cool. Yeah, I like how these bars came out. Alright, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.